Hello, and welcome back to Let's Replay Mystery Case Files Dire Grove. I'm MCFPapa, and this is part 10. We're going to be finishing off the game here. Yep. Let's get the penultimate videotape.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Susan? Where did you go?
Help!
Come back to the room. This is just a stress call to anybody who finds this tape. The legend is real. I came here with my friends Susan, Jack, and Matt, and she took all of them. I knew this was gonna happen. It's getting really cold. I can feel the ice moving under. Oh, Susan, are you there? Hey, Susan! Ah!
I like the detail that apparently Susan was like possessed while holding the walkie-talkie, so then when you find her when she's the hunter, then she also has the walkie-talkie. But something I'm curious about is where Allison's walkie-talkie is, because you don't see it on her or like on the floor around, so I wonder what happened with it. But anyway, now we're at the ruins, and I've made it to the Celtic ruins site. The wind gusts here make it difficult to stand, and the freezing air steals the breath from my lungs when I try to inhale. Crouching beneath ancient stones is my only protection from the elements as I update my case report. I've definitely reached the eye of the storm. The ice and snow pushes itself in every direction, starting at an outcropping of rock surrounded by large carved obelisks. There is no way of surviving in these conditions, so I've got to act quickly. The headstone at the center of the site appears to be some sort of ancient mechanical device. 4 columns carved into the rock and several surrounding satellite stones leave me scratching my head. The items I've unlocked inside the relics must have something to do with this, but what? The cold is causing the crime computer to malfunction and display cryptic images. Yep. And now this solution is randomized, but from my experience at least, the one over here I've never had it be in the second row. It's always been 1, 3, or 4. Even though logically you could deduce, since it doesn't display on any of the other ones, it must be row 2, but I guess they wanted to just play it safe since you can't get this tape until after you do this puzzle. And it's square down up circle for this. Square down up circle. I like, though, the implication that, like, the Banshee was haunting your computer to show you the solution to the puzzle. Or maybe haunting the tapes, because now that you've done the puzzle, the shapes are gone. So I assume since the Banshee got what she wanted, she no longer needs to haunt it. But maybe the tapes themselves are haunted, since, like, the shapes display more clearly the greater amount of tapes you collect. I don't know. Perhaps I should go get the ladder. Perhaps I should. My body grew rigid from the cold as I studied the headstone puzzle for quite some time. I remembered my crime computer displaying shapes matching the jewels I've recovered from within the relics, and instantly recognized the pattern. The spirit must have known the solution. I fear I've been used. Is it possible I've been spared only to help the frozen lady? Did she somehow beguile the students and make them dig up the relics, knowing I might be tricked into unlocking her ancient tomb? Allison noted the evil could not be freed without the relics coming together. As long as the students stay clear of the ruins, I should be okay. I guess I'm okay. Well, I'll go back and get the ladder. Uh-oh. I need to make this update brief. The ladder I used to access the second floor of the farmhouse is missing. Fresh footprints in the snow suggest someone besides me has been here recently. Is it possible Allison has awakened? If she joins the others and brings the relics together, that we're all doomed. I would check in on the other students, but I fear they'll be gone too. I hope they haven't convened at the ruins. If the Ice Lady's spirit is released, the entire world will freeze. I feel like such a fool. I played right into her hands. We can see him in the distance, but first, of course, gotta do the last tape.
So if they found the first relic, do you think the other three are buried around here somewhere?
That's my guess. The carvings that were on the relic that was found represent the blacksmith, the fire. The Celts placed great reverence in the four natural elements of earth, air, fire, water. It just makes sense that the other relics would represent the other elements. Remember who opened the portal? Farmer, earth, fisherman, water.
So, if the relics came together again, you're saying the portal would reopen and release the soul of the woman trapped thousands of years ago?
Yes, but unfortunately it would also freeze the entire world in the process.
And there'd be no turning back?
I suppose. I mean, that's how the story's been told for thousands of years. Although, the Celts do believe in this mysterious fifth element, which would trump the other four.
What was it?
Roughly translated, it's known as the Silver Soul. There's not a whole lot known about it. It's thought to be highly magical by the Celtic elders, the Druids. Anyway, if an object representing this fifth element was in some way combined with the other four, it would lock the portal forever.
Let's hope we don't have to find out.
Oh boy, got the documentarian achievement. Lucky me. The students have opened the portal with expressionless faces. They have gathered deep beneath the ruins at the source of the snow and ice flow. I watched in horror as they chanted and one by one released a relic into a throbbing light emanating from a large circular hole in the center of the chamber. As the fourth artifact disappeared from view, a blinding light accompanied a gleeful howl unlike anything I have ever heard. The spirit of the Ice Lady is now free. The legend of Dire Grove is now a terrible reality. I think it was always a reality. It was just dormant. Every frozen fiber of my being wants to remain far from the entrance, but it may be our only hope. I've got to cross through the barrier and try to somehow restrain the evil that threatens to overtake our world. This whole thing is completely nuts. And the final morphin object, the skull up there. Yay, got the achievement. Ain't that great? It took every last bit of courage I could muster, but I closed my eyes tightly and stepped forth through the portal. I now find myself within a tiny ice chamber bordered by 5 small altars adorned with strange glyphs. In the center of the room rest the remains of the young woman sacrificed over 2,000 years ago to save the world, and forms the basis of the legend of Dire Grove. Her icy anguish now begins its flood across the face of the earth. Every moment brings my world closer to doom. I need to figure out a way to decipher the writing on the altars before it's too late. Yeah, the stakes are so high in this game. It's the fate of the world in our hands. Not just saving some trapped souls or solving a mystery of some robbers are employing you. But no. This is saving the universe. Well, the world, and more than likely the universe too. But I like how in the cave now there's like ice crystals all around the journal. Really nice. And you can actually go back through the portal. And they're just talking. But now, if you go back to where the students are, they're gone. Surprise, I know. But it's just cool that they're consistent on their details. But the Banshee still appears in spooky locations. And that's what you get. You are the greatest for doing them all. That's your big reward. And the achievement, I guess. But I wish there was something more. Like maybe have the morphing objects open up, unlock like this puzzle, and then do that to get the secret. Or maybe have them be unlock the Suds detergent. Something. That would have been something simple to do. Yep, she's gone. Although the bathtub still appears completely frozen, like there isn't any like hollowed out part where she was. Kinda weird. But it's cool that they put in the effort to like change these scenes to have them be missing, because like 90+% of players wouldn't ever think to go back to check these, because you have no reason to. But it's cool that they did it just in case anyway. Anyway, I have all 5 of the necessary items, which I've been slowly collecting over the course of the game, plus of course the snowshoes. So let's do the final puzzle. Now, if you don't have this page unlocked from getting in her suitcase, then this message doesn't translate. But it really doesn't matter, because it was right to begin with. But it really doesn't matter, because you can still input the solution and be fine. And I like the shadow effects too, pretty spooky. There we go. Like, I mean, it's cool to figure out what to do and stuff with this, but it is kind of tedious. Though I do like the added detail of once you light some of the fires, then the rays from the fires will show up here. A series of riddles found on the other side of the portal were illegible until I found Allison's translation. Now that I can read the symbols, I'm starting to wrap my head around what's going on here. The ancient Celts must have hollowed out this space and constructed the magic altars as some kind of failsafe against the breaching of the boundary between worlds. Objects are relating to Earth's four basic elements, in addition to a magical property known as the Silver Soul, seem to be pulling the ice-weighty spirit back into the frozen void. If I can solve all the riddles, I might be able to imprison her once again and save the entire planet in the process. Hey, it's this image. I never noticed it, but that's from one of the wallpapers. That image of the Banshee. That's the one I used for the thumbnail of my speedrun. The only problem with like unlocking a new journal entry is then you gotta turn back again to this page. Oh, I hate when I click back and like I click one too many and then have to go clear around. And it is cool that they give like a complete set of all the whole alphabet, even though you only need a handful of the letters, so that if you want, you can even write your own secret messages in this language. And big surprise, the secret fifth element is Mercury. That's been done in a lot of fiction. But anyway, there's the ending.
With the artifacts of Dire Grove now safely locked away, we may begin to reassess our understanding, not only of the ancient Celtic people, but of all civilizations. Might it now be wise to look upon the tales of earlier ages with a renewed curiosity?
Dr. Sterling, much has been discussed of your experience, yet you only briefly described the individual responsible for saving you and your friends. Can you reveal the identity of this Good Samaritan?
That person is asked to remain nameless, but I can give you their business card.
And there we go, that was Dire Grove. According to its ending, Allison finally managed to get a proper amount of support for her big speeches. Yeah, the achievement for doing it in under 6 hours is not hard to do at all. But I really love this Dire Grove's version of the Mystery Case Files theme. It's so beautifully eerie and stuff. But it's weird that the only place you're able to hear it is in these end credits. Because the opening scene and the title screen plays the Return to Ravenhurst theme. And to be fair, Return to Ravenhurst theme is a really good version of it. But it's just weird. And on the subject of weird things, in the mobile version of the game, like the mobile ports of Return to Ravenhurst and 13th Skull and Madame Fate are pretty much identical to their PC counterparts, but the mobile port of Dire Grove is very different. It actually added an extra scene in at the end, which shows the Banshee's spirit being healed, and so she's good and can go to the afterlife as a good person.
With the artifacts of Dire Grove now safely locked away, we may begin to reassess our understanding, not only of the ancient
Kinda weird. And also, there's a replay mode in Dire Grove on mobile, which lets you replay any of the hidden object scenes you want as much as you want. And also on the mobile version, there's no like collector's edition stuff in the game that you can do. Like, you can still access the bonus hidden object scenes, but you don't find the Freddy the Fishes or anything. It's really weird. And also it's weird how the song doesn't loop, so most of these credits are just complete silence. But anyway, now to go back to the main menu, yep, I got all the achievements so we can see this great video. Having a Nerf war. Playing some Smash. Harassing employees and stalking them in the bathroom. And taking naps.
Okay, yeah. You guys can let go now. Sorry.
But I like this. It's a fun little video that they threw together, and it really makes me like the original MCF developers even more, who worked at Big Fish Studios, because not only did they make a great game, but they even had a good sense of humor. The achievements really aren't much special, but it is something. I guess maybe the reward for the 50 morphing objects is the video, because like the other stuff is pretty basic to do, I guess. And it's one thing I always found weird though. Ooh. I like that even on the title screen the Banshee's haunting. But one thing I found weird was there's a strategy guide button here, and then one right here. So why have two of them? Just like that. Gee, I wonder what other games will be coming out. No, who could tell? And now, with the strategy guide, like, it's weird how, like, the morphing objects aren't organized, they're organized by alphabetical order, instead of, like, by, like, the order you actually find them in. So it's just really kind of confusing. And then, like, wallpapers, like, there's, like, this one, which is just a big close-up of one of the drawings. There's the car, there's a nautical room, there's the road to the farmhouse, there's this really cool one, and then the other ones are like other screens. But like I said, every screen is a work of art, and I would actually use these if they were in a 16:9 aspect ratio, but this whole game was still made in 4:3, because I guess even in 2009 that was popular on computers. with concept art. This is just some work by Jeff Haney, who's probably the main reason that these Golden Era Mystery Case Files games look so damn good. Like most of these, there really isn't much to say about them. There's that one again, but without the thumbnail one. There's close-up of some of the designs. But now this one's pretty interesting that, apparently at one point it was envisioned that the sky and aesthetics would be more bluish instead of the purplish we see. And that's just pretty much a near finished design of the boathouse, but the weather vane's not a jack-o'-lantern, and there's some lights on in the distance. I wonder if maybe at one point there was supposed to be more people nearby. Makes you think. This area, I guess just because it's concept art, that's why this stuff is very basic, but the mirror was originally supposed to be bigger and actually facing the front door or something. So that would have been interesting to see. Maybe the fisherman was originally awake all the time, or it was just this is supposed to be depicting him waking up. But as you can see here too, it's more bluish light shining on him. But here at this point it's purplish. But the really weird thing, there's some more bluish light. But the really weird thing, besides there being apparently more trees at one point around the hotel, is right up here it says Shady Grove. Was the game originally at one point going to be called Shady Grove instead of Dire Grove? I don't know, but that's a really interesting thought that a game so well known for its name, Dire Grove, could have at one point had a completely different name. Well, not completely, but somewhat different name. And now for the outtakes, there's a bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff in Argentina. I guess they probably had to go to Argentina because they filmed it the summer before it was set to release. The spring or summer here where it was set to release, so they needed snow. And I guess couldn't go to a ski resort with fake snow, so they went to Argentina when it would be winter there. But what's really interesting is the cut Banshee animations. Here, there was apparently going to be one in the forest up to the boathouse. And then one in the hallway of the hotel. Where she's just dancing through the rooms. And now I understand why these two were cut, because they make the Banshee, seem really friendly. And in this one, she even seems to be guiding you along, so maybe at one point the Banshee was originally going to be a friendly spirit instead of the enemy of the whole thing. Or at least more playful. Because she doesn't even look hostile, she looks happy in these. So I understand why these two were cut. But then there's this one, which is in the basement of the hotel, where she even leaves footprints. and then she, like, stares at you creepily and then goes back up. Now, why didn't they keep this in the game? Because it's a great scene, and in the last act of the game, there's really no Banshee animations at all until you, like, reach the, like, end game frozen grotto area. So this would have helped add some to it still. And the icy footprints are a really nice touch. And then there's this one in the boat. Now this one too, I think, would have been a really good one to have, where she's like peeking over the side of the boat. Like, it's really scary, at least compared to some of the other stuff. So I wonder why they cut it, because it would be really fitting. Like, after you completed the fisherman's puzzle, then went back a screen, she would appear in the boat. Just like how with the hunter, the Banshee doesn't appear until you're done. I don't know. That was just my thoughts. Anyway, so that's pretty much all I had to say about Dire Grove. So, that's the end of this part. So, like and subscribe if you want, and I'll see you in the next series.